Okay. Hello, everybody. So excited to bring this webinar to you. It's actually take two because we had a bit of a glitch in our first recording. But as everybody knows, for the month, well, last month we were focusing on immunity. This month we're focusing on stress. And certainly there's no better person qualified to talk about stress than our special guest speaker here today. So I've known Sandy, and I was trying to think about it the other day, Sandy. I've known you for about 20 odd years now, because I think my youngest was 5, so it's about,
Right.
he's 25. So 20 odd years now, and without a doubt, you've certainly been with me during some of my darkest times, some of my most, traumatic times, and you've always been that go-to person, whether it be just looking at a quick video online that you've given or coming into you in practice, because you seem to give a lovely slant on things, and sometimes it's really good when you can't work things out for yourself, just to have that, other person.
Glad to hear it.
Absolutely. So Sandy, you're not only the nicest person I've ever met, but you're also director and psychologist of Glenelg Psychology, which is a well-known, well-established private practice here in Adelaide, South Australia, and you specialise in therapy, hypnotherapy, and you certainly treat a broad range of mental health issues such as depression, stress, anxiety, PTSD and OCDs, and you're also an author. You're an author of 6 ebooks, which is absolutely amazing. By far my favourite would be Raising Happy Kids, which you really did teach me how to parent my children. So when they watch this, it's so good for them to be able to relate and know where I got my parenting skills from somebody else, not my own parents. But not only are you well respected in that field, you're certainly incredibly respected as a psychologist. And I suppose with all of, with the pandemic that's going on at the moment, more than ever, there's significant amount of stress that people are experiencing. There's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of fear. And I suppose just to start it off, are you seeing now more than ever a lot more stress-related cases coming into your practice?
Yeah, very much. And we, as you know, we're a big practice. We've got 6, 7 psychologists here, but we are all seeing an influx of stress-related cases, all fear-based, obviously, because of COVID-19. You do expect that. You don't know the whole framework of how we interact with people has basically come to a standstill. That it's not safe anymore to hug people, shake hands with people. You need to keep your distance wherever you are. And this obviously is creating a huge degree of stress. We have a virus that can potentially make you extremely sick, to the level with the older people that they can actually pass on. So yes, it would not be normal if you were not more stressed or feeling fear. Go on.
Yeah, so that's almost comforting in itself, to know that it is normal to go through the feelings of uncertainty and the feelings of mild anxiety or extreme anxiety. So that in itself, what you just said, is actually quite comforting, coming from somebody so experienced like you.
Yeah, and that's really important for people to understand that babies are born with anger, sadness, fear, and happiness. They're instinctual. So it is normal to actually experience those emotions given the situation that exists.
Yes.
So when people come in and they say they're petrified about catching COVID-19, then I say to them, as you said, that's normal and that is healthy. What I then tell them to do is, one of the coping strategies you have is the diaphragmatic breathing, where you take a deep breath, push the stomach out, but you add the cognitive component to it. I'm allowed to be stressed. I'm allowed to be scared. I'm allowed to be fearful. And then you can say to yourself, I can breathe out that fear. Now, it won't alleviate it completely, but it will decrease the amount of fear that you actually feel within your body a lot less. Okay, compared to sadness or anger, where you do the breathing. I'm allowed to be angry. I'm allowed to be sad. You get rid of them. You breathe them out. And this is in fact creating a lot of anger as well as anxiety, because people are pissed off that they cannot do what they want to do. They have to think twice. They can't go places. A current example was Easter the last weekend. We were told to stay home. So even walking became an incident, or being have to go out. You had to stay at home. Yes. That creates anxiety and anger. Yeah,
absolutely. And yeah, the diaphragmatic is an interesting one. You taught me that, and I know that's on your website, so everybody can go and have a look at that. And I think when we were doing the rehearsal for this webinar, we spoke about how sometimes it feels really strange to actually acknowledge it and to almost allow yourself to feel that way. Like I sometimes don't, when I have mild anxiety, I don't want to actually acknowledge it. I'd rather it just go away. But what you teach is that you acknowledge the emotion.
Yes, that's really, really important. As I said, as we don't tell babies to not cry, we don't tell babies to not shake or be scared. We just allow them to release the emotion.
Yes.
Unfortunately, our society is such that by the time we get to 10, 11, 12, even teenagers, you know, boys are taught don't cry, don't release the emotion. Girls are not allowed to be angry, but they're allowed to cry. So we have these different rules and regulations for people. Whereas the reality is our body is telling us what we're feeling. So instead of ignoring that, we need to simply say, well, I am feeling scared. Regardless of why, I'm allowed to feel scared. If I'm angry, if I'm sad, I'm allowed to do that. We don't question the fact when someone's happy. We allow them to be happy. Why do we not allow them to release the other emotion as well? So the reality is our body tells us what we're feeling. We can use our brain to let go of that feeling instead of having to hold on to it. Yes. Anger, sadness, and fear are the three emotions we are supposed to feel and release. Happiness is the emotion that we feel, and it makes us actually feel better or more content with ourselves.
Okay, well, it's certainly helped me. It really has. When I got through that, you know, those cognitive thoughts of, okay, you know, it's okay to experience the emotion and then breathe it out. It's been a bit of a game changer for me in my life. So you shared some other helpful tips before about how couples are coming together more and, well, being forced to be in the house more, and some coping mechanisms for both men and women dealing with each other during this time.
Absolutely. Look, obviously the big ones are the relaxation techniques are really important. Okay, yes. That helps you relax. That's the diaphragmatic breathing. That's the cognitive behavior stuff. But then on top of that, you've got physical activity. It's really important that you do get out and walk. Keep that physical routine going. And obviously, as a couple, any couples can get out and they can do that together.
Yes.
That's really important. Okay. Listening to music is important. Again, regardless of what gender you are, find the music that relaxes you. Other techniques are yoga. For example, I've got a daughter who's a yoga instructor. She's teaching me how to relax and get physically fit just by doing a simple exercise like yoga, which you can do in your own home or out in the fresh air. Meditation is another one. Again, it's becoming content yourself with yourself by doing meditation. Sleep hygiene is really, really important. Don't change your routine there. It's really important that the body and the mind get enough sleep. So don't stay up and play those games until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. If your normal routine was 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, keep it. Keep that routine going. Routine is really important. Distractions are really important. Do jigsaws, crosswords, puzzles. Find things that you enjoy doing. Doesn't matter if it's macrame. Find something that you like to do. So you can do that by yourself. You can do that with your partner. That's really important. At the same time, I think we discussed last time that the other issue that you have when you're living with your partner and there's no other distraction is it can risk the ability for negativity to come forward.
Yes.
And we're going to see an increase in domestic violence because people don't have those distraction techniques. For example, a big difference between men and women is when women get angry, they're able to voice that opinion and they can tell their partner that they are angry. Men, on the other hand, when men get angry, walk away. Don't try and push the point. Don't keep talking. That will simply stimulate more hormone within them. It can bump up their level of aggression to where it becomes where they're going to punch the wall or may punch you. You don't want that happening. So the message there for females who have male partners, walk away when your partner gets angry. Let him calm down by himself. When he's ready, then he will come back and say, right, the anger's gone. Now we can talk, rather than pushing the point. As I said, women have the ability to yell and scream. They can do that and get their message across without becoming physically or verbally violent. And that's really important. That's a huge difference between men and women. So given the fact that you're living with somebody, you're going to have differences of opinion. Children can drive you nuts as it is. I mean, they're beautiful. We all love them. But at the same time, they can drive you nuts. We need to give them space as well. So even though we're social creatures, we also need our own time. That means sometimes as partners, you may need to go for individual walks just to clear your head. Listen to the music, turn on the television, find laughter. Laughter is a great distraction.
Isn't it? Oh, they're really, really good tips. I'm just going to take this opportunity to ask one thing, and I know you've got a YouTube video on it, and I'm throwing you in the deep end a little bit. But what would be your advice with women in particular, but this does happen to men as well, being at home more and emotionally eating? So a lot of people are coming to us at the moment saying, for some reason I've got more cravings, for some reason I'm going to the fridge more. What's your slant on that?
The biggest issue, as you said, we overeat, A, because we're bored, okay, or B, as an emotional distraction. So the weird thing is we need to find another stimulus that's as effective, if not more effective, than the overeating itself. And that's where these other things come in, you know, the music, the yoga, the meditation, the distractions, the physical activity. Alternatively, when you're reaching for that food, say, I'm allowed to eat it, I can breathe out that belief. I can let that thought go. The other thing, if that doesn't work physically, I find have a glass of water. If you quickly drink a glass of water, that in itself can bloat you. But again, I guess I'm handballing that a bit back to you. You're the expert in that area, not me. But I find that the glass of water does work.
Absolutely.
Yeah, following your routine and following the LTLA program, I find that it is difficult drinking 3 litres of water a day, but if you do it over the day, it makes it a lot easier.
Yes.
And you don't get hungry.
Yes.
That's the other amazing thing about it is the cravings disappear.
Yes, that's right.
So, but if you get those cravings, remember the diaphragmatic breathing. I'm allowed to have the craving. I can let that craving go.
Yes.
And find a distraction that works.
That's so.
Yeah, no, that's good.
So really, the same principle underpins everything.
Yes.
It's allowing the emotion, acknowledging the emotion, using the diaphragmatic breathing, and then almost distraction. Do something.
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And as easy as it sounds, it's practice makes perfect.
Yes.
The more you walk, the easier it becomes. The more you start looking forward to it.
Yes.
It becomes a positive habit.
Yes.
And that's a really wonderful thing.
Yes, absolutely.
As you said, eating sensibly is another positive habit. That can also improve your mood drastically. A lot, because you're taking in food that you know, as you said, is good for you. And that changes your whole attitude. And you look forward to that. That's the other thing that I haven't mentioned is have goals that you look forward to. So I often say to people before you go to bed, think of something you're looking forward to the next day. Yeah, and that's really important today because, as I said, a lot of people are housebound.
Yes.
So what's the meal you're looking forward to? What's the TV program you're looking forward to? What's the game you're playing with your partner you're looking forward to? Find the positive that you're looking forward to, not this is the same old, same old.
Yes.
Because the reality is every day is different. We are getting over this virus and we will get over it. We will beat it. The only thing we can't say at the moment is when. We do know it will happen.
Absolutely. Look, Sandy, really, really appreciate your words of wisdom. And I think what I'll do, if it's all right with your permission, I might share your link, I might share your book links, because, you know, some of the information in there is invaluable. And because they're ebooks, they're updated all the time, which is really, really good. As research comes out, you know, you're able to update it. But really do appreciate your time and your words of wisdom and your input. And yes, look forward to maybe having you back again one day.
Gladly, and thanks for the opportunity.
Thanks, Sandy. Stay safe, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.